Oh, hey everybody, Darksoul6875 here, and welcome back to Thoughts of a Dark Soul. Today, as always, Dark Paladin and I are going to be discussing the new episode of Doctor Who, and today's episode was entitled Thin Ice, and overall, I thought it was a very solid episode. I actually found myself enjoying it. It's definitely a much better episode than Smile was.
Oh yeah, by galaxies better. Fuck you, Frank.
We're still keeping that. We're still keeping up with that. Fuck you, Frank.
Yes.
Alright, so the big plot behind this one is that Bill and the Doctor now go into the past, since they've been in the future, and they visit the last big ice fair in 1814?
Yes, February 4th, 1814.
Yeah, which I never even knew what the fucking ice fair was, so this was something fun for me to learn about.
Well, we're Americans, so you don't need to worry about that.
Oh, but it is fun.
What those red coats do there.
So essentially, the Doctor and Bill come to the ice fair, and we discover quite a few things. But first, the Doctor and Bill enjoy some festivities, and also have some very good banter right off the bat about Pete, which I thought was pretty fucking funny.
Well, it's basically just showing that how she is worried about the theories of time travel, how it works in this universe, which is actually a great point off to use, especially as a soft reboot for the series to bring in newcomers into this. So explaining like, well, should I be worried about stepping on this, having the butterfly effect and all this other stuff that happened, like you going back in time.
I thought it was just a big reference to Martha.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Remember, this is also supposed to be a soft reboot, so they're basically retelling some things like about time travel.
What?
A soft reboot. It's basically just reintroducing some storylines or retelling some things so newer audience can catch up, but without changing the overall story or without, rebooting the entire thing.
I didn't really think of it as a soft reboot. It was just another new character not understanding the laws of time travel.
Well, yeah, but they didn't really beat, like with each companion, they don't really beat in the head over and over again about time travel. That's the idea that's the reason why it's to introduced. They even said this was going to be basically a reboot. That's why the first thing was called Pilot, I guess. Well, sort of. But yeah, everyone's been calling it like a soft reboot. But yeah, I love the banter between that and how the Doctor was having fun with it, because this is something that was needed. Some humor, some
good humor,
the old-fashioned Doctor Who humor, and
back and
forth with the companions. We didn't get any of that in Smile.
No, Smile it took itself very seriously.
Not serious enough with the writing.
I know.
Fuck you, Frank.
Come on now, we're on a new episode. Let's dial it back. So we have some good banter between Bill and Doctor, and then they go enjoy some festivities. And apparently the Doctor's a thief.
Well, yeah, that's always been a thing with that.
I know, but like...
But it's a subtle joke going back to saying, like, oh yeah, I stole the TARDIS.
I mean, yeah, but like, I guess I've just never seen him interact with another quote-unquote thief, and him being so enthusiastic about it.
Well, yeah, but he stole from one thief from another.
Yeah, no, it's not that that I didn't believe it, it's just I've never seen him be so enthusiastic about being a thief or trying to learn a fucking coin flip trick.
It interests him. Like, anything he doesn't know, he want to learn. I mean, yeah, I appreciate the art.
I figured he would have known the coin flip thing.
Well, yeah, but it plays off to what happens later on.
Yeah, no.
So that's the reason. But it's like I said, the storyline writing was great on this.
Yeah, and I think...
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah Dollard?
Yes.
And I think it's at this point Bill notices something under the ice. It's when we get to the con artist. She notices some lights under the ice, and after they enjoy the festivities a bit, she asks the Doctor if there's any side effects from time travel. He's like, "Oh, you mean seeing lights under the ice?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "You've seen them?" Like, "Yeah." I figured we'd enjoy the festivities first. And I think it's at this point we're introduced to the little kids, the little urchins, as they call them.
Yes.
As
street urchins.
Yes, the street urchins. As one of them, the little black girl, distracts the Doctor and Bill, saying, she lost her dog. as the doctor's like, describe your dog. It's like, oh, it's a short little brown dog. And he's like, wrong, this color is for a big white dog. And then the little boy comes up and steals a sonic screwdriver out of his pocket.
That would be Spider.
You don't get too attached to Spider. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So Spider runs off with it. A chase ensues. They lose him in the crowd, and then I think they find him again. I think the children make some comments about the sonic screwdriver. There's even a little fun banter between Bill and the doctor about the sonic screwdriver. It's like, he stole my sonic screwdriver, and she's like, how is that a screwdriver, and how is it sonic? It's like, it's a screwdriver because it helps fix this thing, and it's sonic in a very broad sense. Or no,
it makes sounds.
Yeah, it's sonic because it makes sounds. It's a screwdriver in the very broad sense. That was a good line. A lot of good humor in this episode. And I think after this, we are then introduced to the monster this week. After they start to catch up, and they go out on the thin ice. Which, title of the episode, roll credits. You see that I don't remember if the sonic screwdriver was turned on. If the Spider had the sonic screwdriver on?
No, he had it off. It wasn't
off.
No, okay. It was off. He was alone, and then
like the one of the children, the black girl, runs farther than him. Spider sees the lights under the ice, and he's like mesmerized by him, and more keep showing up, and they start swirling around him. And the doctor and Bill come out, and I think the doctor tries to Does he say anything?
He told him to stop. He told him to stop. Do not move. He reaches to grab for the boy, but only can grab his sonic screwdriver. Because
the boy at this point is being sucked under the ice, and the only thing you see is part of his arm, his forearm sticking up, so holding the sonic screwdriver. So the doctor grabs the sonic screwdriver, and the rest of the boy is then taken under and is dead.
Well, no, the boy was being taken under while the doctor was reaching, and he could only grab the sonic screwdriver. He was trying to grab for the boy as well.
Yeah. And then
from what I've been seeing, I mean, that'd be really cold. Oh, thank goodness, sonic screwdriver. Fuck that child.
Fuck this one child in particular.
You steal from the doctor, you get what you get. And, oh god, it goes back to another Doctor Who reference. One chance. That's all you get.
Right? And obviously, the little... What's the little black girl's name? I forgot what her name was. Kitty. That's what it was.
Kitty, yeah. That's Kitty.
Yeah, so Kitty is obviously actually less distraught than Bill, which I thought was interesting because it makes sense. Given the time period, kids are used to seeing other kids dying at this point, especially when they're street urchins.
Also, they're dealing around the time. Around this time, also, children were used as workforce.
Yeah, they were workforce.
So children that didn't have any parents or anywhere to go, no one really cared. They disappeared.
Yeah. Bill is heavily affected by Spider's death, though. To the point where she actually just has to physically leave the area and has to go sit down and just starts bawling.
Well, not that only. It's more the fact that also she's outraged by how the doctor's response is.
Yeah, the doctor does not respond almost at all to this. He's just like, oh, thank God, I got my screwdriver back. And it's just what?
But after he runs up and finds her, this
was a really
excellent.
Good scene.
Yeah, really good. Excellent writing at this point. It, like I said, reintroducing newer audience to the Doctor while also giving people the Doctor that we know that, yes, he has been alive for thousands of years.
Does he reveal his age in this little scene? Because I think he said 2000.
Yeah, he says he's 2,000 years old.
It's when you get 2,000 years old, outrage is not a luxury you can afford.
Doesn't have time for luxury of outrage, otherwise more people will die.
Yeah. So really, this is a very cold moment for the Doctor.
Well, sort of, but also explains that it's cold, but not really. It's more the fact that,
sense.
Yes, he can't really get too emotional, because if he does and gets too focused on this, he can't save more people.
He loses sight, yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, that's what he's trying to... And it also introduces having, Blair understand, hey, this isn't just going to be a fun old, great old adventure all the time.
Fucking people die.
People's lives can be...
holy shit.
And her seeing death, I can understand that being put up. and I guess because this now changes how she can see him, making him wonder, like, hey, this guy's been alive for many years and doesn't seem to be too phased by death, which actually he is, but he doesn't really just, say, like, I gotta bawl my eyes out now.
I did like the fact that the doctor does bring up, we were just on a planet, surrounded by skeletons. I think Bill said something along the lines that she didn't watch them die.
Yeah, she didn't watch them die. They were already dead.
Yeah. And, like, that's a really good point. Because at first I'm like, you're going to get sad down. Like, again, it's a child's death. But, you just saw, I'm like, okay, this makes sense.
Except that's not true either.
What's not true?
That she did not see anyone die. She did. In that episode, when the robots attacked.
Oh, yeah.
Someone just got turned to bones.
Yeah.
So, she did see someone die.
She did, but it's because of their own actions. Like, it
doesn't really matter if it was for their own actions. She just watched someone die.
True. But I think the idea behind this, why these one episode's written better than the other, but B, is we've seen these colonists, here's their reaction. Instead of trying to work out a peaceful conflict, they're just like, no, shoot him. Fuck it. So I can see why seeing a full-grown adult colonist die due to, their actions versus a child not even knowing what the fuck's going on, which one of those deaths would really be more impactful to the character.
But, yeah, like I said, either way, it does get into more a conversation with how the doctor is, talking and fighting and see how their bantering is going to work and see how they're going to, get along better. But then the doctor and her find Kitty again.
Yeah. They find the rest of the urchins.
Urchins.
That's what they're called.
The unwanted ones.
Yeah. So the doctor apparently had stole a couple of fish pies and gives these to the kids to kind of gain their trust, and so they can kind of figure out what the hell's going on. Who's bringing the people to the ice fair, and we learned that it's somebody with a tattoo on their hands of a ship, which, mind you, we're at a dock. We'll bring this up later.
And pays them to lure people into the ice with the flyers, so that way it builds up to this.
And so, at some point, the doctor, I guess, has these dive suits just in the TARDIS. Because, why wouldn't you? They go down to investigate what's below the ice. And what they find is pretty fucking creepy.
I'm not saying it's creepy. It's just a giant, big creature.
Which we don't know if it's, at least at the time when they first look at it, we don't know if it's alien or not. Which I think is interesting. No, and I don't really. Then to me, I guess that's not really the point. But you do know automatically that the creature is basically in prison there because it is being held by chains. What? Yeah, I was agreeing with what you said. And while they're under there, the monster does like belch, and the spider's hat actually comes out, and it's just like, oh, sweet Jesus! I was not prepared for that.
Well, I was going to think of that. This is going to be some more trauma for Bill to understand. Like, hey,
yeah, no, he's fucking dead. He's
fucking dead as shit. Yeah. Also, I guess to answer the question a little more, did he die for real? Yes, he's dead. Don't worry, he's gone.
He's dead. Deadwood.
He's fuel.
Yeah, well, we don't know that yet. So now that they see the creature, they go back up and they find the fisherman that was the con artist from earlier. And so the doctor and Bill kind of, I wouldn't say interrogate him, but they question him. Like,
they question him, which brings up one of my favorite lines. You just asked me, does anyone have a tattoo at the docks? A
tattoo of a ship at the docks. And he's like, yeah. And Bill's just like, I love how he doesn't get it. It just goes right over his head.
Yeah, and basically she's like, he brings up a very good point. Yeah. And loving it, every bit of that.
Yeah.
So, but then how Bill finally showing some how resourceful Bill can be, having her come up with an idea to ask her some questions and get some do something. I mean, finally.
Yeah, and we get to see the psychic paper come about, too.
Somewhat?
The psychic paper.
Yeah, I love that. I always like the psychic paper.
I always just love it because I'm just like, so who's he disguised as now? I just love to see what they come up with. It's always fun.
Yeah. I also love that the line where the doctor said, like, the code word. Yeah, it's code word, so that way you don't blab to anyone about what's going on around here.
Yeah, so they go to this little yard area where they're taking. Well, they say they're at the other end of the fish, which means they're essentially harvesting its shit.
They're harvesting Spider right now.
Or, well, it depends on how quickly he digests it.
Yes. Well, if we go by what I think from letter N, I think it would probably should maybe kind of quickly.
Hard to say.
Yeah, kind of one bit. Yeah.
So essentially, the information they get, they go to this yard, and the doctor uses his psychic paper to get into this little yard where they find out that they're putting all the poo together to make fuel, which burns hotter and longer than coal, which is pretty. And they can't even record its temperature with all their devices in 1814. So it's pretty fucking big, and it can even burn underwater.
Which finds out to be rocket fuel.
Does it?
Rocket fuel, basically. The doctor said that.
Oh, okay. We get a good couple of lines between the guy he's questioning and the doctor, even some from Bill. We do get a little funny moment right before we learn that the guy is employed by Lord. Now I'm going to mispronounce this. Sutcliffe? I think.
I'm sorry.
Lord Sutcliffe.
Yeah, Sutcliffe.
It's really fucking weird. Really fucking weird name. We get this funny line. Because Bill finally realizes what she's got, and she's like, oh, shit, and then it cuts. She's going to say, oh, shit, but it just cuts off, and I'm just like...
He's like...
I see what you did there. Because she's holding poo. Puns. You gotta love them sometimes.
Yeah, that's around the time I think that when they brought up the whole it burns underwater.
Yeah.
It's like, no, and then the horse was like, that's great. Then they get introduced, and then
yeah, and then we're at the manor of Lord Sutcliffe. The doctor goes inside. He's gonna say, they go inside, and he tells Bill let me do all the talking. You kind of have a temper,
You're emotional at the time. Yes, the lines, and sometimes you win just by being attacked. I like how they build it up, and then being straight up
Chekhov's
racist.
Gun.
Yeah.
Although I do like. This is a reference from last season. Is that when Sutcliffe comes in, he's like, Dr. Disco. I'm like, hey, I remember that. This is a nice callback.
Yeah.
But they're trying to figure out whether Sutcliffe is an alien or not. And as soon as he comes in, he goes, Dr. Disco of the Fairbank Society.
Basically seeing her sitting, Bill sitting down. So
he sees
what
Bill,
are you doing there? You should have more respect for your betters.
He's like, get on your knees and all this shit. He's pretty much being as racist as you would expect an upper class white guy in 1814 England.
I would expect that, yes.
And so the doctor just apparently does not like this and just fucking decks him, just punches him as hard as he can.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not as hard as he can, but he fucking...
He's like, well, I can clarify that he's human.
Yeah. I like how we use racism to make sure he's human.
Well, yeah, it makes
sense. It does, because why would an alien be racist?
Well, an alien can be racist. There has been shown racist evidence before, but why point at that particular human? That's when I'm going like, I can't really see these whiter ones are just perfect. The darker ones, on the other hand, annoy me.
Right. So Bill and Doctor get tied up. Well, not tied up, but they get kind of round up a bit.
No, they get their hands bind.
So they talk to Sutcliffe for a little bit. We see the Doctor before the Doctor kind of comes off as cold and slightly kind of calculative when he talks about, Spider's death, and now we get to see him do another speech, only this time it's, he's showing that he does care, and that the speech that he gives to Sutcliffe is, supposed to move him, he's, supposed to, find any decent humanity that's within him. Sutcliffe is apparently just a, bastard with a black soul. who doesn't give two fucks about humanity. Like, legit, this guy is like scum of the earth type character.
He doesn't really care about anyone who was lower than him. This basically just seems to be more focused on classism on that point, on that end. Yeah, but like I said, it brings that doctor speech. But I don't think the speech was dedicated mostly for him. I think it's mostly also for Bill. It shows Bill that he's not just this non-caring individual.
Yeah.
That he does care about these people. That he does care about the ideas of this world, but then also trying to help, and that the boy did bother him. The boy's death did bother him, but not to the point where he has to go like, I can't just not do anything. I gotta do something.
Going back to this is something that I just thought of. Going back to the conversation that Bill had with the doctor after Spider's death, the things that I thought were actually interesting about this conversation, and this just came to mind, was she asked him questions. You know, how many people have you seen die? You know, how many people have you helped, and how many people have you killed? Something like that. I'm just like, do we really want the answer to that question?
Billions.
And does the Time War still technically count?
Billions.
But no.
Well, you talk about just the Time War, man.
Yeah, well, no,
we're going back to classic Doctor Who.
I mean, technically, that's genocide for two races. Double genocide in one day, but I don't know if that counts anymore, or does it? Does it not? Did it happen?
It doesn't really matter for that part. It's more the fact that whatever. But let's go. Let's see.
I think now we're at the point where they've been captured, and they've been taken to the tent with all the explosives in it. I feel like that's where we are, aren't we?
Yeah, the tent where what the dynamite is at. Where the whole plan is that the reason why the elephant is there, because that way he can use it as an attraction to bring all the people to the.
Yeah, there's an elephant at the fair.
The whole plan was to use this fair to get as many people there, so that way they can all die, feed it to the fish, and he makes profit from the poo.
From the poo fuel. So we now. So the Suckleth has revealed his evil plan about feeding people to the monster via corpses, and now he's left with the Doctor and Bill and need to try to figure out a way to deal with all this. And I think one of the guys has the sonic screwdriver. I can't remember.
No, what happens is that he tries to get free. The guy walks out and
they try to get free.
They tried to get free with using the sonic screwdriver, and they realize the sonic screwdriver is attracting the fish that used to suck them down, and then the guy comes back. So what are you doing?
Grab that screwdriver.
Grab the sonic screwdriver. Realizes they're chasing him now, and he's trying to turn it off. And the Doctor said, "Here, hand it to me." Hands the Doctor, but a little too late.
He does say something about there's a button on the side. I don't know if he was intentionally trying to get that guy killed or not. That one was kind of a gray area.
Intentionally try to get him killed, but if he did,
fuck it, no big loss. So now we know the sonic screwdriver attracts the fish that suck you down into the ice, so the monster can eat you. So after this, the Doctor comes up with a plan about he'll deal with the explosives, but Bill has to get everybody off the ice just in case his plan doesn't work. So Bill grounds up. Oof.
Ask the
I almost said grounds up.
Ask the unwanted children that no one wants around in their lives to help save these people.
And so they do. Like, the ice is thinning. The ice is thinning. Get the fuck off if you don't want to die. Because it is still freezing. You still will die of hypothermia outside of the monster.
The man then also fought. Well, yeah, they don't know about the monster because they're gonna yell out, "Hey, there's a monster underneath the ice!"
Nobody's gonna fucking do that shit.
Get away from me, you stupid child!
Right.
So what happened is that the man is realizing that people are finding out and getting off the ice, and so he decides to try to set the bomb off early.
And he runs towards the little plunger because, it's 1814, gotta have that plunger. And he hits the plunger and then nothing fucking happens. He hits it again. We see nothing happen. We're expecting, the fucking big explosive on the ice to go off. And then it cuts down to where the creature is. Now, we've seen the creature in these chains that are holding him down, and somehow the Doctor has managed to get all of these explosive kegs underwater at the bottom. Don't know exactly how he did that, but
easy. He dived down, used the sonic screwdriver as an attraction for that way he can get the bombs down there.
It just happens off screen. Don't think about it too much.
Yeah, I know, but it makes sense if you go by what we saw. Oh, it does. It's attracted to the sonic screwdriver. Why don't we have he just hanging?
How did he get the dive suit?
And have the bombs go down?
How did he have the dive suit?
Huh?
How did he have the dive suit?
He probably went back and got it real quick. That's all I can think of. I mean, it's not like the dive suits were that far. I think from what I know, he probably left them close to the water.
I don't know. I think that's my nitpick of the episode. Is just like, how did he do this so quickly? Because there wasn't a lot of time in between these two sequences.
Yeah, no, that's not my nitpick of the episode. But we're not going to go with that.
No, not yet. So we see the monsters now been, set free thanks to the doctor, and Suckleth goes to find where the explosives were, only to see that the sonic screwdriver is being held by a piece of rope. It's going off, and so the monster's now obviously attracted to it. He's like running. The ice is starting to break everywhere, and then we get this really cheesy ass shot of Suckleth falling into the water and then getting eaten. I mean, like real cheesy.
I don't know if I see him get eaten, but I'm expecting he did.
I mean, we see him fall into the water, and then, I think his hat comes back up.
He wasn't wearing a hat, I don't think.
There was some form of his clothing that pops back up as soon as he falls in.
No, I don't remember. I do know that I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
No, it was good. But you can definitely tell how, the CG, it didn't bother me. It didn't break my immersion, but I'm like, wow, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, Doctor Who.
Yeah, we're not getting into that. So, Suckleth is dead. The monster is free, and my god, this is a fucking huge-ass monster. He's fucking huge. He's huge. Yep. The ice is melted, and the creature is now... By the way, this creature makes the ice. That's the whole big thing. It is not an alien creature. It is something that is actually found on Earth, somehow. Don't think about it too much. And now it's leaving, and now it's kind of like springtime. And now we go... I think we're cut back to the urchins meeting up with out front of the Suckleth Manor. And we see the doctor kind of scraping away at a piece of paper as the kids are all invited to a dining table. And he asks for one of the kids' last name.
No, he asked for the kid's name.
Yeah.
Not the last name, he just said his name. He said Perry. What the doctor was doing was changing Sophie's last will and testament to make sure that Perry got everything.
Because the inheritance the will can't be given to a girl. For some reason.
Give to a what?
Couldn't be given to a girl for some reason.
No, that's not the reason why.
No, they legit said Suckleth's long lost heir can't be a girl.
Well, probably, yeah, but like I said, mostly because of that, but also the other ones were dark-skinned. I really don't think that was going to happen.
Yeah. So the urchins inherit the manor, all of them. And from what we see, they go on to live some pretty decent lives. We don't actually see too much of them. Bill and the doctor go back to present day, where Bill goes on her phone, starts Googling. It's like, did anybody see the monster? And it's like, no, nobody fucking saw it. And then we see Nardole, for the first time this episode. And he looks up and he's just like, oh, you've been doing it again. He's like, doing what? It's like, you weren't supposed to leave. He's like, I didn't leave. I'm here where I'm supposed to be. It's like, this is my special tea time outfit. They have a little funny banter back and forth. Not too much else happens. We do get the little joke there at the end as Bill's looking on her phone for all the history stuff of Nardole and the doctor talking about oh, you're not going to do this, let's flip for it. It's like,
using the coin tossing he got from the con man.
Yeah, to con out Nardole.
Either the doctor vows to keep and remain on Earth, or Nardole leaves him alone.
We technically don't know. It's kind of inconsequential at this point.
No, actually, it is, because he did. The doctor wins, because what happens next is Nardole is checking the vault, which then, as Nardole walks away, the door, someone is knocking from the other side of the door.
Before this, he talks about he's talking to what's ever on the other side of the door. Something the doctor's apparently been talking to what's ever on the other side of the door. What he's been told and all this kind of stuff. And then as Nardole is walking away, whatever's on the other side knocks 3 times. And my God, I was hoping it would knock like 4 times.
I'm not really expecting that kind of thing.
So it knocks like 3 times a couple times.
It knocks several times. It like knocks like a couple times rotation, another few times. While Nora keeps like, yeah, there's someone he's traveling with, blah blah blah. Yeah, but you're not getting out as long as I'm standing here. It's basically showing that okay, this is something to be scared of because the doctor, because Nora's fear of it.
Yeah, Narl's afraid of it. He brought up Bell for a reason.
So there's something happened after the Christmas special that the Doctor and Normal did, and they're the reason why they are there.
But and probably the biggest thing about this little scene is the last set of knocks. They're 4 knocks. But
it kind of built up to it. First,
it built up.
1, 2. Then the next set of knocks was 1, 3, and then the next was 4. I don't really know if it means 4 knocks, because remember 4 knocks meant that it was Wilfred. So we're worried about Wilfred here.
Well, 4 knocks was the
it was Wilfred.
Yeah, but the whole thing built up around it was supposed to be the Master.
Yeah, but that's not. But then we find out supposed to be.
It's not going to be Wilfred.
It only really messed up to find out that the Doctor fears Wilfred, because you actually find out that Wilfred's going to kill the Doctor, and some Doctor locked him away to make sure it doesn't happen. That'll be really messed up. I just want to see Donna. I promise. Hit me out.
Fuck no, it's just Donna. Huh? It's just Donna behind the door. You locked me up? Oh, God. Wait, she would be dead if she remembered shit. Never mind. But
but also one more thing to mention was that I did like whether there's something I forgot to mention for this. It's how what the Doctor said to Bill, because Bill was basically just saying like, well, just no, let it don't set it free for a moment, because it was basically a monster. It could eat these people. The Doctor said like it could, but this is up to you. He's basically said, this is your choice. He said, why does it have to be up to me? It's basically letting her seeing what she's going to do.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that she basically chose to let it be free, especially when they played off an earlier scene, showing that when she heard the sounds of the creature, it sounded like it was sad.
Yeah.
After it was free,
it sounded happy.
Yeah, it was like Bill was pleased to find out that it was no longer depressed. It was seen to be had a more cheerful tone to it.
And we also see that
seems like
the creature
Bill's going to be having
wasn't evil.
Yeah, it seems like Bill's going to be more open-minded when it comes to these ideas, and also grow more as a person when it comes to these little time travel things or these little situations going to happen. Which I'm hoping that she, be able to be more on her feet and think a little bit more and show this compassion. Like I said, I don't expect her to be intelligent like several other companions before, but I am expecting her to
be more compassionate.
This is not those lines. Like if the Doctor is going to be this cold, dark, calculating person, we need someone who's more compassionate and more heartful, or someone that grows in that. Or grow just to understand that not everything is so black and white when it comes to these for aliens or
for creatures or
for certain creatures. That she's not only going to worry about her own people, that she's also going to worry about
whatever's going
others. On. Yeah. So, like I said,
great episode, great character development, good villain, all around. I would probably rate this at least a 9 out of 10.
So it was a great villain. Just it's easy villain to hate. It was an easy guy to hate, but it wasn't really the villain that got me. It was the story between the character development between Bill and making me actually like her. Because the last 2 episodes really didn't really do much.
I feel like the first episode did an okay job, but this one has been the best Bill episode.
Oh yeah, this is the best so far. I'm hoping it builds up more to this. I mean, see, Frank, this is how you write a story.
God damn you, Frank. But no, we have now reached our time limit. So the next week's episode is called Knock Knock, which is looking kind of like a haunted house kind of episode where we might see these wood alien creatures from the season 10 trailer. So I'm excited for this. Apparently this is also where Bill lives. Yeah,
which I'm actually looking to see where more of her story in this and understanding more of her background.
So lots to look forward to for this episode. This one's definitely more of a horror themed episode. possibly a la the Weeping Angels.
We'll see how
somewhere in that kind of vein. Like there's a creature in a house, spooky, scary.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that.
But no, Thin Ice was good. Knock Knock's looking like it has the potential to be just as good. So hopefully this will be good. If you want to leave any discussion about Thin Ice in the comments below, we would love to discuss it more. And stay tuned for the next part of the podcast, which I don't know what it's going to be yet. So future me will tell you here in just a second. Thank you, Dark Paladin, for joining me once again. And stay tuned. Hey everybody, Darksoul6875 here, and welcome back to Thoughts of a Dark Soul. Today, in the second part of this podcast, we will be talking about something that has recently aired just this past week, which is the Dark Tower movie trailer. I was not prepared for this to launch in this past week. I was actually very excited once I heard the news. I knew that the movie was in production. I didn't know it was close to getting a trailer or anything. Also, today joining me is Dark Paladin to discuss this.
I know nothing.
He knows nothing. He knows absolutely nothing, and I know damn near everything. I brought Paladin in because he has absolutely no knowledge of this universe or how it works and what the deal is. He and I have talked about it a little bit before this recording, but otherwise I have all the answers and he has nothing. So overall, this trailer has me worried. There are a lot of things that have been changed. There are a lot of things... And let me go ahead and preface this with, I do not care that Idris Elba, however you pronounce his name, is playing Roland. I think he's a good choice. One of the biggest non-issues that I'm seeing about this trailer is that, oh my god, Roland is not black. And it's just like, I don't care. I don't care. It's legit one of the biggest non-issues I'm seeing people complain about. I know in the books he was portrayed as looking like a very young Clint Eastwood, but otherwise, just go with the actor that we've been given. There's a reason he's been chosen.
Well, I understand why some people are upset.
Yeah, I do.
And I because it's like I said, this character's supposed to be this way, then yeah, I can understand that. But I mean, well, let's think of it this way. If the character was called like, oh, you look like a young Denzel Washington, and then they got Daniel Radcliffe to play him,
oh, God.
I think a lot of people would be upset.
There would be hell to pay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's not hell to pay here. And we're not going to hop on that discussion of topic. But
I'm not going down that hell flame to fire.
No, thank you. But so I just wanted to preface that. So my biggest concerns with this trailer is that it obviously does not follow book one. And there's a reason for that. But first, before I go into all this and just nerd out for probably a good 15 minutes, Dark Paladin, what did you think of this trailer?
What I've seen from it looks interesting, but for someone who has not read any of the books or didn't know it was a book until you told me about it.
Yeah.
Or it looks like I said, interesting, but I'm not really sure how it's not something I'm really truly excited for. One, when I hear Matthew McConaughey as the villain, I really don't think of Matthew McConaughey as a villain. Wrong. I love the guy that they're playing as the hero here, the protagonist. I loved him in it. And he's a really good actor. Yeah. But I'm not saying Matthew McConaughey is not a good actor. I like Matthew McConaughey. But like I said, maybe he'll surprise me. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But like I said, it just seems too on the point right now with the trailer. Like, the scene happens here. The scene happens over there.
Yeah.
Oh, this is basically following every Hollywood script we're going to do with this.
I would like to point out that the character he is playing, I actually did kind of have a Matthew McConaughey looking... When I read the books, I did kind of picture Matthew McConaughey kind of looking character when I pictured this character.
All right.
Not like that, but... This is the Man in Black, who has many names. And, like, legit, I'm looking at... He's got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 aliases and 5 nicknames. and has appeared in about 5 or 6 different parts of the universe of Stephen King's work. So outside of Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba, was there anything that actually interested you, or did nothing really grab your attention?
It looks like what caught my attention is to see that they're maybe going to release like. Okay, what you said about episode that they're not episode. God damn it!
Would you work on this?
That they're not going by book one.
Sorry, excuse me. There are going to be spoilers. I always forget to preface with spoilers for the whole book series in general. Just FYI, go.
Yeah. What you said was that they didn't.
They're not going by like the same kind of structures. Books.
Yeah. Well, it seems like they're going to just release it and show like a backworld story kind of thing. Like, oh, okay, we're gonna show the backstory behind this.
Yeah, they're kind of going to do the boy. Jake is the fish out of water in this new world.
Yes.
And they're going to use him to explain the world.
So, like I said, I'm going to wait and. So no, well, I mean they're going to view the backstory from God, what's his name? They're going to view his backstory probably through flashbacks and stuff.
Okay.
The gunslinger.
The Roland.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him the gunslinger. That's why I can only remember.
No, that's fine. I mean, that's how he's referenced for half of this trailer. I don't actually think they say his name.
Gunslinger.
I mean, that's what the first book was titled, so it makes sense.
Yes.
So were you actually interested in the idea of the tower at all? Like, because obviously the movie's called The Dark Tower.
Yeah, but right now all we know is that if the tower falls, then our world is doomed.
Doomed.
So I don't know how to feel about that. Also, I was really interested to see the Allstate guy in the commercial too.
Allstate guy?
Yeah. The Allstate insurance guy. During the flash scene where you see when he was mentioning saying like I don't shoot with my hands, I shoot with my eyes.
Yeah.
Because you don't see so you don't forget your father.
The face of your father.
Huh?
The face of your father.
Yeah, the face of Well, that's the Allstate guy. I just found that.
Oh, it is. That's neat.
People may remember him more from 24, but I didn't.
Like any of his other fucking huge ass work.
I never watched him on 24. I liked his voice, so that's how I remember him.
Everybody loves his voice. So you mentioned the whole forgetting the face of the father. What did you think of what's pretty much known as the gunslinger mantra? That's kind of recited throughout the end of the trailer.
Yes.
What do you did it come off? Do you think it came off as kind of cliche or stupid? What was your impression?
Yeah, it seems like it was going, the cool guy talk, but like I said, this guy is based off Clint Eastwood. I expect it.
Yeah.
So
it's really interesting because that whole mantra is actually very important to the series itself. Well, I shouldn't say too important, but it's a fairly big. It's fairly often quote when you talk about the series. So there were do you have any other thoughts on the trailer?
Like I said, I'm kind of worried how Hollywood is going to be, but I can't really think of anything too much.
A lot of the things that I'm seeing being commented around the internet is that this looks like another young adult action film.
Could be.
Like that's how people are getting. That's what the vibe people are getting from, and I can kind of see that. I could just from if you only knew it by the trailer alone, you would just think this is another generic young adult kind of movie. Like the Hunger Games, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Shit, that was only 10 minutes. I have to fill 20 minutes. Okay, I got this. Trust me, I got this.
Okay, fam.
So, to preface, I have read this entire book series at least once, if not twice. I'm pretty sure it's twice. Easily one of my favorite book series. So, I talked about earlier that this isn't following book 1, like, at all. Like, not at all. Like, we don't even the only time we visit New York in book 1 is when we get Jake talking about how he got to Roland's world, which I might add is quite different from how he got to Roland's world from the book. In the book, the first time we see how Jake gets the world, he's pushed into oncoming traffic and dies. And then he wakes up in Roland's world, the gunslinger's world. That's how you get there. You kind of die and just, hey, here I am. Yeah, happy fun times. That's how you... Not this magical portal in the house. Although, the magical portal in the house does play a part in the 3rd book. That's how he returns to Roland's world. So they're kind of taking how he... They don't want to kill him off right and then say, oh, wait, that death didn't matter, I guess. And, you don't want to kill off your main character probably within the first 10 minutes of a movie. No. Or something like that. Or especially not in a trailer. Like, oh no, I've been pushed into oncoming traffic, and now I'm in this world. I'm sorry, what? That's way too confusing for the viewer.
Do it.
So I can kind of see where they're coming from with that. We see, with the house, we see the monster, the demon that resides within the house, just in one frame, right before Jake wakes up. So it looks like we're going to get part of the little manor in New York that he has to deal with. So they're tying that into the first book. It's interesting to see that there's going to be a lot of gunfights in New York. That wasn't something that happened until book 3, when we meet a different companion. So I'm wondering how this is all going to play out. Matthew McConaughey, I think, is a great choice for the Man in Black, Randall Flagg, Walter O'Dim, whatever the hell you want to call him.
On here he's Walter.
Yeah, Walter O'Dim.
Walter Paddick.
Oh, Paddock? Oh, okay, so there's Walter O'Dim and Walter Paddock. He has a lot of aliases. The Walking Dude, the Dark Man, the Hard Case, Ageless Stranger, the Man in Black. Those are all his nicknames.
Yeah, Paddick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna love saying that word a lot now.
Paddock.
Paddick.
So, I think the choice for Elba to be the tall, dark, and ugly, which is how they call him sometimes in the book, is good. I definitely feel like he can pull off the role, at least from what I've seen in the trailer. And honestly, what I've seen from the trailer is not really that great. Like, overall, I think it's okay. But what I saw from him from the trailer, it looks good. They showed him reloading a lot, which is important because obviously they're essentially gunslingers are the knights of their time, but instead of using swords, they're cowboys.
Yay!
So they're gonna need to reload quickly. We get a good scene of the little Roland hand trick when he's reloading the revolver as the chamber is spinning, which is a really fucking cool trick they do in the book. So we obviously are combining books 1 and 3, or is it 1 and 2? No, we're combining books 1 and 2. We're combining books 1, 2, and 3. Kind of. It's really weird. So we see, obviously, the Man in Black is going after the tower, and he says he wants to destroy it, which is a bit different from what his intentions were in the book. And we also see Roland not necessarily wanting to destroy the tower, or not wanting to go after the tower. It doesn't seem like that's his main goal, where in the first book he's just chasing the Man in Black. As the famous first line of the book goes, the Man in Black fled across the desert and the gunslinger followed. He's just chasing him, wanting answers, and then this leads him to go and chase after the tower. So I don't know if we're gonna kind of get that same thing where he's chasing the Man in Black and just happens upon Jake, and then the adventure ensues. We do get to see a bit of what I think is going to be Midworld, is what the area we're in for the first couple of books is called. We might even see Gilead, which is Roland's home, which we might have seen in the first shot. Hard to tell, though. Hard to tell. There were some interesting ties to other Stephen King works in the trailer as well. I think if you go and watch the trailer at 1:29, you see Jake looking at this amusement park sign that says Pennywise, and if anybody knows what Pennywise is, it's the name of the clown in It. There's also, in the therapist's office with Jake, he actually has a picture of the Overlook Hotel, which is and it's the Stanley Kubrick picture of the Overwatch Hotel from The Shining. So I don't know if we're connecting all these movies to make one big universe or not, if these just are like little Easter eggs. Hard to say just yet. I'm trying to think of what all goes on. I don't really want to listen to it because then I have to cut out part of the podcast.
You ever read the comics?
I've read a couple.
Okay.
There's a lot of material for this. There's comics, there's 7 books, and now there's actually 2 other... There's a short story and another book that goes along with it, and now there's going to be a movie. There's a lot of material for the series. I'm trying to think what else really... There was also another little thing where we see Matthew McConaughey in the house, where he's talking about there's no point, death always wins. In one part of the shot, you see him kind of put his hand on a wall. And on that wall is written... What is it? Oh, God, what was it? Oh, it's going to bother me. Hold on. It's going to bother me. I remember what it said. I remember what it had to do, but I want to quote it, like, directly. So give me just 1 second. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it says, "All hail the Crimson King."
All hail the Crimson King.
Which is very important in this universe.
Yes.
Death always wins. Yeah, all hail the Crimson King. So, why that is important? While the Man in Black is maybe the big antagonist of this movie, he does have a boss, and that boss is the Crimson King. The Crimson King is pretty much the big antagonist across this whole multiverse. He wants to see the tower fall and just all the multiverses collapse. That is his goal, is to reach the top of the tower and just fucking annihilate it.
Yes.
Or to gain all the power. I can't remember. It's one of those two. He's either power hungry or he just wants to destroy it. One of those two. It's, like I said, it's been quite a while since I've read it. There's also another interesting line where McConaughey says, "Have you told the boy that all who follow you die?" Which I wonder if that means they're going to allude to Jake's death. I'm really interested to see if that happens. Because in the first book, we obviously see Jake get pushed into traffic, and that's how he gets to Roland's world. But near the end of the book, and I was wrong about this when I told you about this earlier, Dark Paladin, while they're in these mountain ranges, they're on this crumbled like little ridge. Jake is holding on for dear life, and I was wrong. Roland has a choice, and the choice is to either save Jake and not catch up to the Man in Black, who is standing not too far away, or let Jake die and then go talk with the Man in Black to find out what his destiny is. And Roland, the gunslinger, lets Jake die. You know, he personally doesn't, just kick him off the ledge and say, "Fuck you, kid, I'm doing what I want." But Jake kind of knows that this is his quest and that he is very obsessed with this. So he looks to the gunslinger and says the famous lines, "Go, there are other worlds than these," and then just lets go and kills himself, so that Roland can go on in his quest. So I'm wondering if they're going to try to recreate that in some sense or another, because obviously it looks like the last third of the movie might take place in New York. I did like the little line, is just like when Roland and Jake are talking, it's just like, Roland's just like, "So do they have guns in your world?" Jake looks at him, just like, "You're gonna like Earth." I'm just like, close enough. I think there was a similar line in like the second book. But I thought that was a fun little kind of, somebody in the comments section, I think it was either YouTube or Reddit, said they should change that line "Oh yeah, you'll like Texas."
God damn it. Well, I'm not most likely gonna like the music in this movie.
Oh yeah, from what the music in the trailer was great. It's gonna be like epic music, like you would see in like a Lord of the Rings film or something like that.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to explain why I'm gonna like the music. The music is done by Junkie XL.
Junkie XL?
Yeah.
Explain.
Junkie XL is a great, and he's made a lot of good songs. I remember he's more electronical and big beat music, but oh god, it's so awesome what he does. He's from the Netherlands.
I've never heard of him.
Heard of him?
No.
Can't.
Junkie XL.
Yep.
Do.
But also, if you want to know other things he's done music for, he's also done music for The Amazing Spider-Man.
He did part of Inception?
Yeah, Batman versus Superman. He composed with Hans Zimmerman.
Hans Zimmerman.
Whatever, fuck.
What's he done for... What's he done for video games?
Oh,
Destroy
Need
All
for Speed, High
Humans.
Stakes. Not really a lot of video games.
No,
well,
Burnout Paradise.
But a lot of racing games. The reason why I know this is because I had a friend who played racing games, and he turned me into junkie. He turned me into a junkie, I guess.
Let's see. He apparently did remixes for Justin Timberlake's "What Goes Around." Coldplay's "Talk." So this guy's done a lot of good work.
Yeah.
I think my big problem, and let me double check this real quick. Tower 2715. Let me see how many writers are on this movie. Screenplay. There are 4 people on the screenplay.
Yes.
And only 2 of them have Wikipedia pages that I know of. One of these guys has worked almost like exclusively on Fringe. And then another one has done quite a few different movies, but I can't. Let's see. Men and Chicken. I'm trying to see if there's any noteworthy movies. I'm not seeing any, actually. No, not seeing too many. The other 2 I can't. They don't have a link to. Who did the cinematography actually on? I'm actually interested. Go with me. This is interesting.
What?
This is going to be interesting.
What's interesting?
Just like how many people have worked on this and how much they don't like. There's not a lot of people who have a lot of work on stuff that I've known of, so it's a lot of kind of unknowns towards me. There's also about 4 producers. And one of the producers is a screenplay writer. And I don't know how I feel about that. It's being directed... His 2012 film, A Royal Affair. So... Filmography. King's Game... Looks like this guy mostly works on foreign films, so I'm kind of worried about this now a bit.
Yay!
So there's a lot that we can speculate. The big thing that I'm hoping for is that they really develop the bond between Roland and Jake, because this is supposed to be a father-son type bond that persists throughout the whole series. Because spoiler alert, Jake comes back. Death isn't the end for him just yet. So maybe we get to, depending on how this movie works and how they do the series, we get to kind of see this this relationship form. What was that about? It sounded like you laughed. Was that a sneeze? Or
Yeah, I'm laughing, but I can't say it.
Oh God, why?
I'll explain it after the recording.
Okay.
But going back to the film. Like I said, if it's supposed to be a development between the 2 of them, it will probably lead to, well, if it's in this, the little boy is going to bring back the spirit of why he's doing this, because in the film he says there are no more gunslingers. So you can basically see where this is going to go.
Which is true. At the time of when the story takes place, Roland is the last of the gunslingers. All of them are dead at this point. They have died in a previous war. And that's why we get the line, the war is over. Because the Man in Black and Roland fought in a war on opposing sides. I'm actually pretty sure the Man in Black fought in the last battle where all the gunslingers besides Roland died, if I remember correctly. Like I said, I'm a bit iffy on those details. Oh, and this is an interesting thing. King noted, for me the character is still the character. For me the character is still the character. It's almost like a Sirigo Lenone character, like the man with no name. He can be white or black. It makes no difference to me. I think it opens all kind of exciting possibilities for the backstory. So, even the author himself doesn't give a shit that Roland is black. The guy who made this character for like over 20, 30 years does not give a shit. That should say something right there.
So do you get this, people? No one basically gives a crap. Don't Jones go Hansen this.
Right? So I'm excited. I shouldn't say I'm excited. I'm hesitantly excited about this movie. This is something that I've wanted to see for quite a long time, and with the It movie also coming out this year, this looks like it could be possibly a good year for Stephen King movies for once, instead of getting some pretty shit ones. There's also been little hearsays about Firestarter movie coming out sometime soon, or going into production. So I want to be excited for this movie. I really do. I'm just so afraid that it's going to fall into the generic young adult action movie. And I hope it doesn't. I hope the trailers have just shown what needs to bring in a wider audience, and it at least follows somewhat close to the source material. Obviously, it can take kind of some loose liberties because he has the Horn of Eld, which, if you know anything about the books, that's a very important keynote. And I won't talk too heavily about that because we've only got a couple minutes, and I would probably spend about 10 talking about that, and I really don't want to.
So people, get ready for the Stephen King expanded universe, where Pennywise and the Man in Black get together to destroy the world. Take the gunslinger, Carrie, and Jack from the hotel room. What's his name?
From The Shining.
From The Shining. To come in and save the day. Oh God, they do that? I swear to God, I would like to have bring back two different kind of Pennywises. Bring the new one and Jim Carrey's version.
That would be so dumb considering
I don't care.
No, it would be dumb because one of the characters you named was a villain as the protagonist, because Jack Torrance is the villain, kind of. Or the middleman for the villain. And Carrie is a very misunderstood teenage girl who kills a lot of people.
Yeah, so I'll be rooting for Pennywise.
Of course you.
Jim Carrey's Pennywise.
Oh, not
kill humanity.
Not Skarsgård, Pennywise?
Yeah, Pennywise.
I'm interested to see if there is actually a tie into the It movie with that whole Pennywise. There is a book out in publication right now that was in the old book series. And it deals with a monorail that comes alive. He's called Blaine. And he's kind of what King described as like Charlie the Choo Choo, but fucking evil.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. So we got cars coming alive.
No, it's a train, like a monorail.
No, I know.
Automated
we already did cars. We already did trucks.
Think of an advanced AI. Think of an advanced AI controlling a monorail, and it's evil.
Oh, evil AI, good. That's
kind of like the train. Like the train is alive, but like the best way to describe it is kind of like an evil AI controlling the train.
Skynet gone trio. Okay then.
Yeah, if I were to talk about the books, this would get so very fucking confusing. So, like I said, I'm hesitantly excited. Dark Paladin, how are you feeling about this? Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. For anybody that's not a fan of the books, I kind of figured that's what it would be like.
I am looking forward to seeing those two actors in there. Like I said, I do like them.
Yeah. So I don't think it said I don't think there was like an end date. I think that was just the official trailer I don't think they showed it like, oh, you know, it's coming out now. So if you haven't checked it, I will link the trailer in the comment in the description below. If you'd like to talk about the Dark Tower movie or the universe in general, please leave a comment in the comment section below. If you would like to talk about the Doctor Who episode that Dark Paladin and I talked about, Thin Ice, please leave a comment in the section below. And as always, everyone, have a great day.